guys. Test rides today, and we got the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. Got a super low ride height. Now, just some things if you've never ridden a DCT before we get started. Keys on the ignition over here. Oh, it turns towards you, not away from you. That's kind of different. You got parking brake here, so we're going to turn the parking brake up, which is you lift this up and then push this button here to release the parking brake. No clutch. And then you're going to start the bike because we're in neutral. And then you can, like a paddle shifter, and it is actually a paddle shifter on a car that has automatic transmission, thumb downshift, and you see a little minus there, and then trigger for your forefinger to upshift. You've got selections of different ride modes, which you can see will switch here. We're going to start off with standard, and then mode will get you to the different places on the menu. We're going to leave it here where the arrow's pointing in the ride mode. Horn, turn signals left and right on the left hand side, and then your lights, high and low beam, and then pass. You can see the little pass there. And on the right you got the power switch, ignition on. I don't know what R and M is, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then you got back to neutral, which is what you'll do before you go. And then your trip toggle, I'm guessing. No? I don't know what that is. Oh, cruise control. Yeah, because I don't have cruise control on my bike, I don't know what that is. Cruise control and then set. So these are all, this is a pretty feature heavy cruiser. It's a newer model of the Rebel, because previously the Rebel only came in the, I want to say it's the 600 and the 300 versions. Really entry-level motorcycles, but it's such a popular bike. I like the styling of the Rebel. It's a reliable bike because you're getting a Honda, and so excited to get out here and ride it today. Here we're going to get started here. So you put it in drive, and because it's a manual, you can feel a little grab of the clutch, the automatic, and then all you do is roll on the throttle to get going, and then it'll see it'll put you in first, and then to get back in neutral you have to hit this button. So here we go, we're in first gear. You can kind of hear it click. I think we've gone over all the controls. Now all that's left to do is ride. Got these little circle mirrors which give you a pretty good view. Not a super wide view obviously, but a little bit of shoulder obstruction I can see in the mirrors, and but plenty to see. I like this red color here. It's got this nice flake in it too, so a nice fit and finish, especially for a Honda, where for a Honda I think you're mostly going for a good value motorcycle, and definitely a reliable motorcycle. So excited to get started here. We've got a mid-ish controls down here. The seat height, I think I mentioned really quickly before I started, is under 28 inches, so super low seat height. So I'm absolutely flat-footing this with bent knees, and so really good for a shorter rider. Ooh, a little grab there. It's nice. He says the throttle response is as much as you roll on is as much as the bike's going to give you. So it is a little weird. It is a little weird not pulling on that clutch. I've ridden electric bikes before, which is what you'll do, but in this case you're on a standard combustion engine, internal combustion engine with no shifting and not even a clutch here. So hopefully we won't think. Usually what happens on my clutchless bikes is I want to go for the peg, not necessarily the clutch with my hand, but this is just me talking as we get started. So nice digital display here, easy to read with full sun. I'm guessing it's going to be even easier to read at night, but obviously, you know, as displays go, you could have more to look at here. You could have a full color display, which would be nice, but as is, just a nice clear display. You got your miles per hour big in the middle, the tachometer around the outside, your gear here, which again I don't think is too important unless you're manually shifting here with the paddle shifters. What the PT and EB is in the different ride modes, you'll see these bars decrease and increase to show how much power you're getting, your traction control level, and then your engine braking it's just EB, and D I'm not sure. We didn't really go over that, but those are the different things, and you'll see those things change as we get into the different ride modes. All right, so a nice plush seat here. It's almost so soft that I kind of wonder how that's going to feel over time, because with soft seats I'm always curious as to how that's going to feel over time, because if I hit the bottom of that seat, it's going to end up whew, that's nice. If I hit the bottom of that seat, it's going to end up being a pain in the butt, literally. So DCT, if you're just in it for the ride, you don't want to worry about shifting, you enjoy an automatic transmission like in a car, this is going to be the motorcycle for you, because you're still going to get that feeling of riding a standard ICE engine. When I say ICE, it's internal combustion engine, but you don't have to worry about killing it when you're stopping in traffic. So I'm guessing, like as a commuter especially, you're going to be wanting to look at a bike like a DCT 1100, not having to worry about shifting, killing the engine in the middle of an intersection or in traffic. This is an engine that's not going to die on you. So we'll stay in standard mode here just for a bit to get oh, this is a group ride. So we'll stay in standard mode just to get a feeling of the throttle response, which is actually pretty sporty feeling for a cruiser. And you know, I've been wanting to ride the Rebel for years because I'm a cruiser rider. Even though I do ride a KTM Super Duke now, I do have a Sportster 1200, and I used to ride a Fat Bob, Dyna Fat Bob. I'm a cruiser rider at heart, and so I've always been interested in like the Bolt and the Honda. You know, obviously Indian is a real competitor with Harley, but for these bikes where you want to ride a cruiser, but you don't necessarily want a Honda, you just like the feeling of the relaxed riding position and the look of a standard cruiser, you know, the naked raw feeling of a cruiser. I just went for the shifter peg. So if this is something that you're interested in, I've always been wanting to give the Rebel a try. It's just that Honda doesn't do like demo truck events, at least in my area. I have never seen a Honda demo event. So finally I got the chance here at the IMS Southern California, and yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with this motorcycle so far. Even down to the sound of the exhaust, you know, the sound of the engine. I mean, this is an 1100, so you know, it's no slouch as far as power goes, and I'll put the power numbers, horsepower and torque down here. And again, just because it's a cruiser, it's still a Honda. And you know, when you think of Honda, I think of like the CB 600 and the 1000, you know, sportier motorcycles. No self-canceling turn signals. There's a nice definitive click when you turn off your turn signal. So just so you know, I did ride a bike yesterday where it didn't even feel like I was turning the signal off, so it felt kind of strange. But I do enjoy when a motorcycle has that definitive click to let me know that I've turned the signal off. I mean, obviously it's here, but I tend to ignore what's going on here as far as turn signals go. All right, so again, standard mode here feels really nice. It still has quite a sporty feel to it. In the lower RPM, not so much. There, you know, they've put me all the way in 5th gear, and our demo guide was saying that you know, and just like a car, it's wanting to shift you up as fast as it can, and wants to get you to 6th gear. So you know, typically if I'm riding a bike, I'm not in 6th gear at 40 miles an hour by any means. So let's drop it down. I'd definitely be around I'd be around 3rd gear here, and maybe it's time to put it in sport mode, because he says that's gonna alter the way that you get into gears. See, and then it's gonna wait, and then the bike's gonna take back over. The computer is gonna take back over and put you back in a higher gear. So let's actually, you know what? Let's switch modes, and then now we're in sport mode. So now we're back into 4th gear, whereas where I would usually in a more comfortable place as far as shifting gears. Yeah, this feels much better. Now, if you're just cruising along, you're not worried about getting a spirited ride in. Being in standard mode is probably the place that you want to be. Oh yeah, this bike leans over really nice maneuvering at slow speed. Okay, sport mode is fun. See, and here in sport mode, it left me in second gear. Our guide also said that the bike knows, kind of like a car, when you're wanting to pass. So when I give it a lot of throttle right there, it knows to keep me in a low gear so that I can surge forward as I would need to. So again, things I'm learning about DCT as we go, and man, it is fun. I gotta say, it's everything that I thought it would be. As someone who drives an automatic transmission car, I would say if you know how an automatic transmission car works in a car, it feels like that. Cars now have what's called CVT, I think it's called, continuously variable transmission, where there is no gears. So if you've got a new Honda car or a new Toyota car, they've got the CVT in it, which is different compared to what this DCT is. I'll put what DCT stands for here on the screen. But essentially, you're getting like an automatic transmission, not like a continuously variable transmission. We're slowing down here for the group to catch up. But yeah, this is a kind of a total package motorcycle. And when I say that, it's a comfortable ride. The handling feels really nice. It feels like you can get a little spirited with the throttle. And then, obviously, as a Honda, you're going to have excellent reliability. So, full package motorcycle. I highly, just from the little bit that we've ridden so far, I can tell you I would highly recommend the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. And I'll give you more feedback here as we go. We got ABS standard. So you got safety features heavy on this motorcycle. I'll put all of those other safety-like features that this bike has to offer here on the screen for you right now. So you can check that out if you have any questions about that. Again, riding position here, I'm 5'6". My inseam is about 30 inches. I don't know if I mentioned that before. But I'm 5'6" with about 30-inch inseam. And this riding position is really nice. I can sense a little bit of...
You gotta stay together, because this line is short. So when it turns green, you gotta go.
Alright, so riding position, I can detect a little bit of a lean forward. If you're a taller rider, I would say if you're like 5'9" or above, you're going to have a really nice upright seated position, riding position, and your legs are going to be up here right next to the tank. I don't sense any heat coming from this engine, even though you're kind of close to it here. It does look like it has some heat protection here, but I don't feel any of that here. It's liquid cooled. I'll put I think they call it a Unicam engine, so I'll put those specifications down here for you as well. You just never know what anyone wants to know in a test ride, so I try to put as much information down here as possible. You can see all of these warning lights, and I won't get into that because we need to get going. He says this light's really fast. So yeah, you got the warning lights as well as like your cruise control settings there on the right, and then all your warning, like your engine warning lights as well. Woohoo! Yeah, so it took a second for the computer to understand that I wanted to pass, and then it grabbed really quick back into third gear, and it got me going really quick. So just something to think about or to consider on the DCT. What I will say about all these buttons here on the right, you've got your downshift, your horn, and your turn signal all really close together. And I've had this issue before, actually, when I rode the FTR 1200, one of the first iterations of it back in 2019, I believe. Lots of stuff together. So what ends up happening is in the beginning, you're going to end up honking the horn quite a bit. You might end up downshifting as you search for the turn signal, because you don't want to have to look down to find the turn signal every time. But it's going to be something that's going to be a learning curve. As you ride and you get familiar with the bike, you're going to find it easier and easier. But just for now, it's just something to think about. You got a lot of stuff right here. Usually I like to see the turn signal above the horn, because I know you use the horn a lot, but I'm using the turn signal way more than the horn. Okay, So we're still here in sport mode. I'm going to try and change it to the user mode, because that gives you full everything. Oh, these are blinking. See, somebody honked behind me because they were trying to find the turn signal, I'm sure. So again, when you have got a bike like this, you're probably going to end up in a situation or situations like this constantly. Traffic, stoplights. And so again, having this DCT is really nice. Again, you don't have to worry about killing it. You don't have to hold the clutch in. You don't have to find neutral. You're just there. And again, it says you're in first gear, but it doesn't give you any power until you actually roll on the throttle. And this power is very linear, so when I do roll on that throttle, it just gives me what I want. So you be really, really easy on the throttle, and you just go really easy forward. Now this bike is just over 500 pounds, I believe. I'll put the weight, the wet weight here on the screen for you. And it feels, you know, it doesn't feel like a super heavy bike. It doesn't feel like a super light or nimble bike. But I would say it's just as you would expect a 500-pound cruiser to feel. No, it's not top heavy or anything. I don't know if that has anything to do with the shape of the gas tank. Sometimes you'll have like that horseshoe gas tank that puts the gas tank down on the sides of the engine a little bit, or shapes around the frame, and that'll affect the way that the bike might feel in a turn as the gas sloshes around from side to side. But no, this bike handles really well. I would say a little above average for a bike this size. I kind of got a wide sweeping turn here. Yeah, it feels really nice. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna have lean angles. If I do, I'll have the lean angles for you on here to show you what this bike is capable of as you lean it over. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel close to the ground at all. My feet feel actually kind of high for a cruiser, and so, you know, if you're riding canyons or mountain roads and you're getting into some real twisties, I think you're gonna have a lot of lean in this bike, which is nice because a bike that's so low to the ground, I'll put the ground clearance too here for you guys. A bike that's so low to the ground, sometimes you would expect, first of all, my feet to be a little bit lower to the ground, and a kind of a lean angle, and the lean angle that's kind of low, and so you don't feel like you can get into the corners very, very well. But this bike doesn't feel like it at all, especially for a bike that when I stop here, I can absolutely flat foot. Like I said, I can flat foot with bent knees, and there's not a lot of bikes. I think I rode the Scout, the Indian Scout, which let me do this too. But such a low seat height, which makes it so approachable for so many, you know, vertically challenged riders like myself. Very accessible, as well as, you know, some people just like to get flat feet on the ground, and doesn't matter if you're short or not. Sometimes bikes' seat heights don't lend to that very well. All right, I think we are coming to the near the end of this ride. Yeah, we're back here at the OC event Fair Event Center. So this is where I'll say, if you guys have any questions about the Honda 1100, the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT, leave those in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I can't answer them, I will make sure. Oh, okay. It stayed in second gear that time, and in the higher RPM, this bike still really has quite a bit of torque left in it. That was nice. So yeah, leave your questions in the comments. Got a little distracted there, and I'll do my best to answer them. So yeah, high marks for this bike. I knew my first time on a Honda motorcycle, you know, I had high expectations, and this bike absolutely lived up to them. You know, if I'm going to consider a Honda in the future, this bike would be up there. I actually, you know, I am interested in adventure bikes, and so the Africa Twin is another bike that I would like to try out. And the Goldwing eventually I'd like to try and ride that too. So guys, we're back here at the event. Nice little view here of this gorgeous kind of park right here. We're back here at the event. Oh, no, we're not. I guess we got a little bit further to go. But essentially, we're back at the event here, so we'll cut the video off here. Guys, if you liked this video, you found it interesting, you found it helpful at all, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you're out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy, and I am out.